Hi, Dean Sweetman here from Tithely again. Great to see you. Today I want to talk about the digital revolution that's going on around the world. And it's happening outside the church and it's happening inside the church. And I want to tie together what's happening as far as digital giving and digital commerce in general. A few years ago, a company got started called Uber. And you may not have ever used the Uber app. I use it just about every day. I live in Los Angeles. It's an urban environment. We have one car at home, and I use Uber. And I tap the app. I have the place where I want to go. I have a car within 3 or 5 minutes. I get dropped off. I never touch a credit card. I never worry about anything, and I go. About 8 years ago, Starbucks came out with the first app where you could actually buy coffee with an app. I'd load my credit card into their digital wallet, and then I'd go and get a coffee. I can even pre-order the coffee from the app, and there it is waiting for me. Didn't touch cash, didn't touch a credit card, all done from inside the app. So this is happening right across. Whole Foods, Walgreens, just about every retail experience that you're going to have within 5 years is going to pretty much allow you not to take your credit card out of your pocket. And probably what's going to happen is that credit cards will become obsolete, because all the data that you need to have for a transaction will be stored at a mobile device. I know that might freak some people out, but this thing is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and that's the way world commerce is going. In this year alone, mobile commerce globally, $2 trillion through a mobile phone. So that is growing extremely fast. So let's drop the church in that for a moment. Traditionally, the church has struggled when it comes to new technologies. When technology comes along, often churches want to shy away from it. They're scared of it. They're not sure if it's the right thing for them to do. I have the total opposite view. I think any technology that the world is using to increase their profits and their margins, we should be using to increase our profits and our margins. And our profits are the preaching of the gospel, the winning of souls to Christ, and the building of the kingdom on the earth. So as a minister, as a pastor, a church planter, I think it's essential that we come right up to date with 21st century when it comes to mobile payments and commerce. Over the last 7, 8 years, the shift from giving from cash and check has really started to pick up speed. But did you know today there's $120 billion being given to faith-based organizations in America, and still only 15% is digital. That leaves $100+ billion are still being received through cash and check. The problem is both demographics and the technology curve are shifting what's happening in churches. We sign on hundreds of churches every month to our platform, and the main reason that we hear back from churches that are calling us to get set up is that young people in our congregation wanted a way to be able to give through an app or through the website or via text. So your congregations, as they get younger, they're going to pretty much force you into a place where you have to have a really great digital giving strategy. And of course, we can help you with that. But I'm saying that as an overall thing. You've got to have a really clear, succinct digital strategy, because there are some key things that are absolutely going to blow your mind when I tell you. The thing that we know is that average gift size in cash and check is about $40. Average gift size via digital on our platform is $177. And you're like, well, why the disparity? Well, there's a few reasons. The first thing is that in today's society, people are not in church every week. And we know as ministers, right, that if they're not there, you're probably not giving. But guess what? They never not have with them their mobile phone. So when you give your congregation an easy way to give from a mobile device, you are literally giving them the opportunity to give anywhere, anytime. And so when it's the 4th of July, I used to freak out pastoring my church in Atlanta, 4th of July weekend. We'd get like snowstorms coming through in the winter. The church would not be there. No people, budget crushed. The beautiful thing about having a mobile strategy is you've got the ability to have in people's hands, they can give anywhere, anytime, and that is a game changer. That makes their giving more consistent. We find through all the surveys that we do, it's not that people don't want to give, it's that as the church, we make it really hard for them to give. And unless they're there in the building, that's pretty much the only way for them to easily make a contribution. Again, with a great mobile strategy, that changes. The other thing that you do in a mobile strategy is you allow people to set up recurring giving with 2 clicks. When I can set an amount, if I get paid 1st and 15th, I go, here's my amount, I set it up on the 1st, I press send, and I'm done. Again, the people in your church want to give. They want to tithe. You're teaching on it. You're exhorting them biblically about giving and generosity. But if we don't give them the easy tools in this day and age to do it, it was fine 50 years ago where 90% of your members came to church every week. But we know with all the things that are pulling on families, the sport, the soccer, and everything that happens on the weekends now, families are just so busy, they're just not there every week. So having a mobile solution for them to be able to give puts them in a setting where they can give anywhere, anytime. And then when you're teaching about giving and stewardship, helping people set up recurring on a very easy basis absolutely changes the game for you. We have churches on our network, 70, 80% of their income comes in through recurring giving. You know what that means? 70, 80% of their budget is going to come into the church no matter if they turn up on Sunday or not. That's a game changer for churches. That's a game changer for you to be able to budget, to be able to work out what you can do with the funds that you receive. So the digital strategy is enormous. And that's happening because the cool thing is that it's not that you have to convince people in your church. The marketplace is already convincing them to do this. They are already putting their credit card in apps in their phone and using those apps to get a car, to buy a coffee, to pick up their prescriptions, to go to Walmart. It kind of doesn't matter anymore that you stand up. It's almost like, oh, the church is finally here. I've done 6 things this week with my phone, and now it's just going to make total sense for them to be able to give and contribute through the mobile device. So I think the key thing in a digital strategy is for you to think through is that you have to be very clear in your strategy. You have to lay it out very clearly. You have to instruct people on how to do it, and you have to make digital a priority. And as you make digital a priority, you will see your offerings go up, because we see in our data, and we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, thousands and thousands of offerings every month. We look at that data, and we see a couple of really cool things. Number one, 2/3 of the giving on our platform is not on a Sunday. Monday through Saturday giving on our platform is 2/3. Only 1/3 is Sunday. Now, if I was to survey most churches, they'd tell me that at least 80 or 90% of their income comes from the offering plate on a Sunday. But what I tell you is that you're missing out probably, conservatively, 30, 40% of the money that people would have and wanted to give is not coming into your ministry because you didn't give them an easy ability to do that. So we see people giving all times of the day and night. We see them giving all hours of the day. We see them giving all throughout the week. And it's amazing when people set up their reoccurring, we have big spikes on our platform. You know, when it's the 1st and the 1st is a Wednesday, we see millions of dollars coming in on our platform. That's because all those people that get paid on the 1st and the 15th, there goes their automatic giving. This is an absolute critical strategy, especially if you're planting a church. You want to basically create that culture from the very beginning. You want to be a digital first giving church. And when you lead people down that path, anyone under 35 or 40 is automatically going to do it, but you'd be astounded. Older people find no problem. When they are convinced how secure it is and how easy it is, they'll jump on board, and your giving strategy is going to be absolutely critical for you moving forward. The other key thing is around record keeping. You know, that data is very important. And this is a whole nother subject, but I'll touch on it really briefly. Understanding your giving data is like some of the best key performance indicators you can have in running this church/business. Okay, don't get me wrong when I say that. I understand the kingdom. I understand what we're all involved in. And even though I'm in business, we're kingdom-minded people. And you're building the kingdom, you're planting a church, you're growing a church, but again, you're overlaying some business principles to help you grow that church. And some of the key performance indicators that you need to be looking at are the trends of your giving, year in, year out. You need to be able to look. If your church is growing, you want to see that giving growing. You want to see different, when there's summer. Here's a cool thing. We have Most churches go through what is commonly known as the summer slump. Not on our platform. We see giving go up through the summer. That's why when they're on the 4th of July barbecue on the boat somewhere and they're missing church, they get a push notification Sunday morning, hey, have a great 4th of July. Don't forget to give. Swipe left, and people do. We see our churches on digital giving platforms that giving increases through the summer. Again, it's not that they don't want to give, but we've just made it really hard for them to give. So that's why having a great digital strategy is so critical. That's why getting the data that you capture from the digital giving is so critical. And you're going to be able to use all the technology in such a way that it's going to take a burden off you as a minister, because your budget is going to be shored up as a result of employing a digital strategy. So I hope that really helps, and we'll see you next time.